Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma and in this video we will be setting up Apache Kafka with Spring Boot application. To begin with, let's head to the Apache Kafka website and on their downloads page you will get two links for Scala 2.12 and 2.13 versions. Usually the later one is recommended. Go ahead, download this zip and extract it on your desired folder. Once that's done, no further configuration is required. And let's head to the Spring Initializer website. Over here, we will be selecting Maven project, Java. Let's name the group as demo and artifact as Kafka demo. We'll be using version 17. And for dependencies, we will be needing Spring Web and Kafka. These are the only two dependencies we need. Go ahead and click on generate and open the folder in your favorite IDE. I have it open in my IntelliJ. So here we have our project, and before getting into the code, let's first start our Kafka server. So let's head to the terminal, get to the Kafka directory. For me, it is C drive Kafka, and I need to get into Windows. Since I'm working on Windows machine, I need to get to Windows directory. If you are working on Linux or Mac, you need to be on bin directory. The commands will remain same. So let's start with zookeeper first and then provide the config, which is also available with your folder. Now go ahead, press enter, and we should have our zookeeper running. Yeah, it started. So now go ahead again and open a different terminal. Here I will be going for Kafka server, and for that Kafka server start config, and here we will be providing server properties. Kafka server should get started in any minute, and yeah, it is started. So we have our server running. So now let's head to our application, and first we will do is we will create a controller. For that, let's create a controller package. Inside it, let's create a class Kafka demo controller, and here we will be making it a REST controller, and we will create one, say, send message to topic method, and it will take a request message and we will send that to Kafka. So right now what we are going to do is we will be exposing a post endpoint in our application, which is responsible to take the request message from the user and send it to a Kafka topic. So let's name our endpoint Kafka demo. And now, since we imported our Kafka dependency, we need Kafka template from it. And let's create a constructor and it will get injected Spring will take care of the Kafka template. Now we only have to do is Kafka template dot send, and we specify Kafka demo topic, and we expect to send the message, and we need to mark it as request body. So right now we created a controller uh, with endpoint Kafka demo having a post mapping which will consume the request message coming from the API and send that message to the Kafka topic. So far so good. We have our sender ready, but we still need a receiver which is responsible to confirm that they are consuming the messages which are being sent to this topic. And for that, let's create a listener. So you can name it as listener package, and we say create a class Kafka demo listener. And here what we are expecting is we are expecting a method which says, let's say, process message, and we are expecting that message is of type string. So we say string incoming message, and we just want to log that message. So we say system out message received and incoming message. So currently this is a simple class with a method which is responsible to print whatever is coming uh, to it. But to make the Kafka connection, we mark this as a Kafka listener. And here you need to observe that Kafka listener annotation I am putting on the method defined in the class and not at the class level. And in this annotation, we need to provide few attributes like ID. So let's say listener ID 1, and then we say topics. And this is the important one. The topic should be exactly same which is being used by the sender. So that's it. And yeah, and one last thing is we need to mark it as component so that it can be taken care by Spring. Yeah, so that's all you need. You have your listener ready, you have your sender ready. So now let's start our application. So let's run it, and yep, it is running. So now let's head to the terminal and open another terminal, and you need to make an HTTP call for this endpoint. You can do it with Postman also or any other API tool you are using. Uh, I'm showing over here with curl. So .exe. I'm saying the data is test incoming sample message, and then I'm saying that headers for this request is uh, the content type is application text, and the last thing is we just need to say our endpoint, which is Kafka demo. So that's all we need in this one. Let's hit it and let's see what we get in our console. And yes, we are receiving that message. So that means our listener logged this message. So the sender sent it correctly and listener consumed it correctly. So right now this logging is at the listener end. What if we want similar kind of logging at the sender end? And for that, what we can do is we can add callbacks. So let's introduce a variable and then say add callback, and here I will be using Kafka send callback, the first option. And on failure, so it gives you two options, on failure method, on success method. On failure we will be saying uh, error occurred, and then we have the exception. And on success we will be saying uh, successfully sent, and we say result. That's it. Now restart our application. So application is started. Let's hit the API again and let's see here. Now we are getting the logging message from the sender also. And the send result object, you can see you will get more details about the topic, the value being sent, and other metadata. So yeah, so we have the sender logging done, we have the listener done. So let's add one more listener. And how can we do that? We just need to copy this, paste it, change the ID and process message to, and let's make it a different log. Yeah, that's it. Done. You just added another listener for the same topic. And now if I restart my application, both the listeners should be active. So I have restarted it. Let's hit the API again. Check over here. And yes, we are getting both the messages now. But we observe one thing, that for a single message, both the listeners are active and they process. But what if we want only one of them to process a message? We want one message to be processed by only one listener. And for that, what we can do is we can assign a group ID. So let's say we assign them as demo. So right now I'm saying is that both the listeners are of same group. So in this case, what will happen? Only one of the listener will process the message. So let's see, restart it to the terminal, API call, check the response, and you see over here, now only one of the listener is logging the message. So if I change the group also, like if I make him demo new, then also we end up in the previous use case where you will get two loggings, because now the groups are different and they are pointing to the same topic. So with different groups, the individual listeners are independent of each other and they will start processing. So now if you try and hit it, and you see we again getting two messages because they are representing two different groups. Okay, yeah, so that's all in this video, and the final walkthrough of our application. We have the POM XML which was generated through Spring Initializer. It contains the two dependencies, Spring Boot Starter Web and Spring Kafka. Then we don't made any change in our entry point. Then we go ahead and created a controller, a post endpoint, which will help us to send the message to topic. Here we specify a sender using the Kafka template, and then added callbacks also to ensure that we are successfully sending the message. And in case if you are getting any error, we are logging that too. We go ahead and created listeners over here, and then we assign them group IDs, and we get to know that the listeners with the same group ID will only process messages once. Yeah, so that's all in this video. Thanks for watching. Thank you everyone. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.